Welcome back to another episode of Mommy and Me. I am Brii Renee, straight from the A, baby.
I am the original Miss Renee from the A.
Anyways, welcome back to our channel. Welcome back to another Mommy and Me episode, another Mommy and Me Monday, or whenever you listening to us. Shout out to everybody that be listening throughout the week. If you trying to catch up, if you new here and you trying to catch up on all like 30 something episodes that you probably have missed, go back, listen, watch us while you at work. Just catch up. Because we be dropping some gems and stuff. But shout out to everybody that's been rocking with us since day one. And all of our 85%ers, we can't go without mentioning y'all. Because y'all be spamming the comments on YouTube, baby. And we love it. So keep it going. So welcome back, y'all. I feel like we need a theme song.
Welcome back. No, that was the Carters. Welcome back, Carter. Nah, that won't work.
That was Mace.
That was who?
Mace. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back.
First of all, your tune is all wrong. Second of all, that was a Welcome Back Carter theme song on television. I don't even think you remember Welcome Back Carter.
Oh, see, that's why you need old people to tell you about the originals, because Mace, the rapper, remade that.
Okay.
I thought that was Mace.
No. Sorry.
Thank you for giving me the encyclopedia version of that. But anyways, I love talking to you. One thing that I do know that I got from you, honestly, is like my drive, my ambition, and my ability to work hard, But I wanted to talk to you today about like all the different careers you have had.
Oh, Lord.
And like just what they, not necessarily about the jobs, but like you can give me stories and examples, but
what did each job teach me?
Yeah.
Lessons?
What was your favorite job? What has been your favorite career thus far? Those of you who don't know, this lady done did everything. I'm talking about from sell dirt, sell cars. You literally had a dump truck that sold dirt.
Yeah. Yep.
She had a car dealership at one point where you would go to the auction and fix up cars and then sell those cars.
Yep.
You were an Atlanta police officer.
Yep.
She was on not the Red Dog. Was it the Red Dog?
I was on the original Red Dog squad. Mm-hmm. And I went to the motorcycle squad. Mm-hmm.
Motorcycle squad, Atlanta police officer. Then you went to be a public defender, a city attorney, like all of these. And then you went on to do construction. You built homes, and then you worked in like the sewer. I don't know what that career is called.
Utility industry.
Utility industry. Mm-hmm. So like out of all, you worked at Piccadilly. Like, out of all the jobs that you'd have had, like, what was your favorite one?
You know what? I think that each one of them at some point were my favorite. They were all rewarding in their own rights. The lessons, the starting with being the police officer, that job grew me up. It made me an adult. I had to grow. I mean, I learned that, life, was happening right before my very eyes. So I had to grow up and be an adult. I had to think like a grown person. I had to realize that the things that I was doing, the people I were encountering, were experiencing real life situations and issues. Mm-hmm. There may be any given day I could have encountered a situation where I may have been required to take somebody's life, or my life may have been taken, or I may have encountered somebody that was going through a real life crisis. How was I going to handle that? I mean, so that job, I can truly say, exposed me to life, serious life situations and issues. And I was at a point, I was responsible for other people's life and their well-being. The decisions that I was required to make on a daily basis could have everlasting effect on other people's lives. Being a good cop versus being a bad cop. Those things actually could happen, and as a result of whatever I did, could really, really, really hurt somebody. So that job really, really made me grow up.
So that made it your favorite?
Well, in a sense, yeah, at that time, because I never experienced those things before. I mean, I
was thrilling to you?
Well, no, I wouldn't say it was thrilling to me. It was important to me. I realized that I had a lot of responsibility and a lot of power, and then I was required to really, really, really make adult decisions. You
like
see,
serious life or death.
Serious,
affect your life.
That didn't affect my life. I couldn't be a spoiled brat and just have it my way. Whether I had to look at things out of other people's eyes and other lenses. Because that's a lot of responsibility when you putting a gun in a 21-year-old's hands. You're requiring that.
How do they prepare y'all for that?
They put you through the police academy. 12 weeks of vigorous physical classroom training to teach you some things that you don't already know and to help guide you to becoming that rational individual.
Is there any ethics
Yes.
training
Yes.
with becoming a police officer?
Yes.
Because a lot of police officers do not be having
I agree. And believe me, trust me, I know that they do. And some of them are just mean and vicious, dirty, downright individuals anyway.
Yeah.
Some
they don't do no screening for that.
Yeah, they do put you through psychological training to try to weed out the bad ones, but unfortunately, the bad ones still get in. They're police officers, not only just in the police department, but in other agencies, federal agencies that are just rednecks. They're jealous, they envy, and they just don't like black folks. And those people are just who they are. And there's nothing you can do to change that person because that's who they are. But does that make them right? No, you still have a lot of downright dirty, nasty cops, a lot of downright dirty, nasty individuals in all type of agencies, whether it be from the local police department all the way up to the federal government. You still got a bunch of assholes, and they're going to be who they are. And unfortunately, we've got to learn how to navigate through that and deal with those individuals.
As a young Black inner city kid, growing up in a Black city like Atlanta, growing up in the hood, and having to deal, I'm sure at some point, witnessing racism with law enforcement or the police office, like police department, and just how Black people interact with police anyway. Like, what would make you want to be a police officer?
Believe it or not,
because we don't even call the police.
Believe it or not, I literally grew up, like you said, a Black kid in the community that absolutely did not like police. Because
most of us don't.
Because I saw the police abuse people in my hood. Mm-hmm. I saw the white boys, police officer, mistreat Black people in my neighborhood. But in God honest truth, I found myself, I applied for a community service position when I was young, about 18, 19 years old, in the police department. That position, after about a year plus, was running out because it was federally funded. It was a grant. And it was either apply for another job in the police department. It was either become a police officer or become a dispatcher. And I'm not the person that could sit behind a desk and take police calls. That wasn't me. I couldn't sit there 8 hours a day and do that.
Oh, that ain't me. I can't sit still.
Right. I can't sit still long enough. I got to be out.
Where I got it from.
I got to be out in the, right. I got to be in the field. I got to be in the field, hands-on, observing, doing something. I'm not the ones that sit behind the desk. So I knew that.
That really influenced my career choice too.
Yeah. And that's understanding who we are as people. So being faced with that choice, the only thing that were available were those two, and I chose the latter. I chose, to go and become a police officer. But I went into it with an understanding of what it was going to require of me. But I also went into it with the commitment to do right by people, not allow the position to go to my head. I knew that I would never mistreat anybody. I would do all that I could do to make sure people in my neighborhood saw a different type of police officer. They saw a person who, number one, would listen to them. Number two, would give them the benefit of the doubt. Number three, would be that voice for them. An advocate for them. So that was my thinking in becoming a police officer. And that's what I always tried to live by. I've always had my own code of ethics to live by. And so doing that, I was always mindful of the fact that I had brothers, black men out there in the street. And I wanted those black men to be treated. I wanted to treat every black man I encountered the same way I wanted someone to treat my brothers. So I've always believed that you do unto others as you have them do unto you. So that was my thinking and the road that I chose, and my philosophy for becoming a police officer. I wanted to change that perception of that cops were just, assholes and abusive.
Did you ever battle with that though? Like, oh, I'm a traitor?
No, I didn't know. I never battled with it. As a matter of fact,
you feel like, no, I'm fighting the good fight from within.
No, I felt that way. And as a matter of fact, I even had some encounters with, I had a situation one time where I encountered a kid that eventually got killed by this other cop who was racist, but they wanted to cover it up and pretend like he wasn't. But he killed this kid. And I ended up letting it be known that me and this other officer, this black guy who had no balls, who couldn't stand up and tell the truth, who hid behind the badge, so to speak, that guy did something wrong. So I was kind of ostracized and eventually fired by George Napa, who eventually got his just due. But anyway, I ended up suing the city, and we settled out of court in federal court. And I was actually ostracized by other white officers because
you didn't protect blue.
I didn't protect blue. And it was actually said, one of the city attorneys, he's dead now, actually, I was 9 months pregnant with you, actually called me on the carpet and actually said to me, how dare you go against the very people that you work for? Don't you know that, you are a police officer and you are just supposed to, for another words,
baby, this is not a fraternity or a sorority.
Right.
Sweetie.
In other words,
J-O-B.
In other words, I wasn't supposed to tell the truth. I was
that's what they do. They cover up for each other.
And I simply told them at that point, I serve a God. I don't give a damn about protecting a blue, because at the end of the day, that could have very well been my brother, my relative, somebody out there that this racist cop did that too. And so I had to let some of the other white boys know that I work with, this is a job to me. I don't give a damn about this badge to that extent, because if I ever saw you or ever got a winkling that you were disrespecting or hurting somebody that I knew and cared about, you're going to have to answer to me. And I didn't give a damn about the badge. Mm-hmm. And I had that feeling back then, and I've always felt that way. I don't give a damn because we're all police officers. I didn't sign on for that bullshit. Yeah. I didn't sign on to mistreat people and abuse people and, take advantage of people. And unfortunately, history repeats itself. You see, it's starting to come out now. Police officers just didn't start abusing people.
No.
It's starting to become more and more prevalent now, because guess what?
Cameras.
We got cameras. We're talking about it. People are letting it be known. People are getting sued.
It's recorded.
It's absolutely.
You couldn't prove it before. If nobody like you had integrity,
absolutely,
would stand up and say something that saw it, then we had no way to prove
it. Absolutely. And the ones that, like myself, that would stand up and say, those are the ones that got ostracized. But I didn't give a shit, so what? They fired me.
I think that people like that who will put their integrity or their morals to the side for that job never belong to anything and just need to have a sense of belonging.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I just need a friends, or
Yeah.
I just need to feel part of this boys club or whatever. You know what I mean?
So that job, going back to your question, that job allowed me to grow up, to understand who.
How long did you do that job?
10 years.
Dang, that's a long time.
Yeah. And from there, I put myself back through law school, and I became a public defender because, again, I wanted to fight the good fight for those that, didn't have a voice. And I wanted to change that perception of, public defender not giving a damn about people. And so every day I went to work and I had a sense of pride, and I fought for, the underprivileged.
You really did fight too, because I remember being young and like sitting in the courtroom at the school, sleep on the bench or whatever. You know what I mean? Elementary school, like you in there fighting, and then, or even on the way home, like I have seen you cry about the verdicts of
because
people.
it mattered to me, and if I felt like somebody.
Okay, Perry Mason.
I went. Believe it or not, I went to law school because I loved Perry Mason. So I thought it was reality. I thought that's how it really worked in real life, and I quickly learned that ain't how it really worked.
So law was always your passion.
Yeah. The other jobs on the side, selling the dirt, having a dump truck, and those things were always, side jobs, things that I was able to do and could do, to help put additional food on the table, to give you that additional lifestyle. I've always had multiple jobs. I've never only just worked one job.
I was going to say, what made you like that? Because back then there was no term of entrepreneur. Like, it wasn't like now everyone's being pushed entrepreneurship. Like, oh, you should quit your 9 to 5, or everybody should be an entrepreneur, even if you should have a hustle. Like, back then there was nobody like really in culture forcing that on people. What made you feel like I need a 9 to 5 and I need a hustle, and it wasn't just a hustle. You didn't go get other jobs. You started businesses.
Yeah.
That's a lot. So what made you be like, all right, I'm working this high stressful 9 to 5 of being a public defender on top of having to do all this casework, reading, all of that stuff. You gonna start a whole nother business?
I did. I just, I found something else that I liked, I could do. I knew I could do it. And it helped provide additional income, brought income to the household. I just always had that work ethic. My mama always instilled in me that in order to accomplish anything in life, don't sit around and wait for people to give it to you. You got to go out and you got to work for it. Mm-hmm. So, and her work doesn't necessarily mean, one job was going to get it. If I had to work 2 or 3 jobs, I did it. Even as a lawyer, I worked 2 or 3 jobs, to do what I wanted to do and to have the type of lifestyle that I wanted to have, and to be able to put my children through the schools, and for my kids to never have to depend on free lunch, or, to ask anybody to help me, or to, I'm not saying that we always had an abundance. You never knew how much we had, but there were days even working.
Let you tell it, we ain't had nothing.
There were days
when I wanted some.
that there were days that even working, I remember one of my best friends, and we laugh about this now, when even as as a city attorney, there were days that after I done paid all the bills, because I didn't really make a whole lot of money. I done paid all the bills for the week. I've made my monthly obligations. and I've taken care of the children. I've got you guys set on the budget. I may have had $5 a day for lunch. And me and my girlfriend now, we laugh and joke about that. We wore out Kroger's fried chicken. We ate Kroger's fried chicken. We went and put our money together. We got us some Hawaiian rolls. We got us some Kroger fried chicken. And we were content. We got us a few sides. We put our $5 together and we were happy. We were content.
That's a good friend.
Yeah.
'Cause I wouldn't put my money out this one.
Yeah.
That's a good
We
point.
laugh about that all the time now. Me and Von, ask her. We talk about that. We ate fried chicken from the city turns out. Nobody knew I only had $5 for lunch to spare that day. That wasn't their business.
Mm-hmm. That's a good friend.
Yeah, we enjoy.
Because I would have been at Subway with my $5 foot long.
I mean, maybe.
I'll just swear.
Maybe, but I'm just saying.
Like, see, she gonna have to get it on your own today.
I'm just saying, some days, some months it was tight, some months it wasn't tight. But whenever it was, I was okay.
But
I didn't mind working.
It was for you. You had the extra hustles and everything else because it was for a lifestyle. So, do you feel like if you didn't have kids and it was only you had to take care of, do you think you still would have been an entrepreneur on the side?
I think so, because that's just who I am.
Yeah, me too. I
just would have been hustling. Instead of spending it on the kids, I would have been probably banking it.
Yeah.
Saving it, or maybe buy me another cool whip or something.
That's me right now, baby. I ain't got no kids. I'm still out here hustling.
Yeah.
For me.
Certain jobs taught me certain lessons, when I got to be the public defender and the city attorney, I realized, there was a certain lifestyle that I wanted. I graduated from, certain things, and I wanted a different level. I wanted, the next level up. So, but
I was going to say, sorry to cut you off, with any of your jobs that you ever, outside of like the police department, like the example you gave with your moral integrity, were there any pressures that you felt from these jobs, whether it was to increase your lifestyle or to increase, like, for example, I remember when I was waitressing at the Flame, and everybody know who making money based off of how you working, and they know, you know what I'm saying? You could people be pocket watching. So I remember I did feel a little sense of pressure to
go out and buy certain things.
Yeah. Because they were like, how you making all this money and you not?
No.
You never felt like that?
No, I never because let me tell you
something.
Like
when you became the city attorney, you didn't feel like, oh, I'm the city attorney, I need to be driving.
No. Oh, hell
kind of car.
No. Let me tell you a little story behind that.
People do be feeling like that.
I don't care what people see. That's just it.
No, I'm saying other people might feel.
I've always been grounded, and I've always understood that what God has for me is for me. And so when He blesses you, that's your blessing. I've got to be patient and wait on mine. And so whatever He gives me, I've never been envy or wanting what other person had. I remember one time, and my buddy Vonnie will tell you this. I went out, and I've always been to auctions. I've never been afraid to buy a car, drive any kind of car. I remember going to the police academy. The very car that got me back and forth through the police academy was an old beat up 70 Volkswagen that had been sitting under a man's tree for years. You couldn't even wash it clean. It was white. Had red bundle stains. It had red bundle stains on it. The seat was so rotten, you couldn't sit on it. The only way I could get through it, I took sheets and I would wrap the sheets around the seat to keep it from tearing my pants up. But that car got me to the police academy each and every day, and I was proud to drive it. Because hell, the option was I could have been walking.
Yours. Yeah.
And it was mine, and it was paid for. So I've never been caught up into what people think about me or the image that I have to portray. Because when I'm able to do something I want to do, I do it. I don't let the pressures of people in the world. But going back to being the city attorney, you talked about, feeling like I had to level up to other people's standard. I remember.
Or even like suits.
I like to dress, and I dress the way I like to dress, and that's just always the way it's been. But I went to the auction, and I love an auction. I love going to all kind of auctions. It's just something about the rush of going to auction.
25.
I bought shit at auctions that God knows I didn't need. I bought cars at auctions. Lord knows I didn't need it, but it's just I had to have them because I was at the auction. But I went to the auction one time, and I had been watching through the paper. I had been watching this X5 that, that little green BMW I had convertible. I bought that at an auction that I drove personally. But I bought cars at the auction and sold them. And I bought some that I just had an eye for, and I kept them. So I was at city attorney's office, and I should drive a white X5 back in the day. And I'd gone to the auction and I bought this car. It had been stolen out of Carolina. I bought the car, paid cash for it, saved up my money. My goal was to buy the car and sell it to make a few $1,000s off for it. But the girl I was going to sell it to, she backed out on me. And I was like, oh, what the hell? I keep it because I like the car. So I went and got it for service and everything, got the car clean. So my boss at the time, I'm not going to call his name, made double the money that I made because he was the deputy and I was the assistant. And he saw me driving this X5 and he came up to me and he said to me, I make double the money you make and I can't afford an X5. How you can afford to drive an X5? And I looked at him and told him, hey, how you spend your money, that's your business. How I spend mine is mine. You got to figure out how to get the things in life you want.
The way my blessings are set up, baby.
Right. So the thing about the irony is that here, this car was, and I had it clean. It was immaculate. This car was a year old, wasn't a brand new one, but it was a year old. And yet he made double the money and couldn't manage his money to go out and buy the car. Don't get mad at me because I figured it out.
Yeah.
You know, he was upset because I drove an X5 and he couldn't afford one. And then here's another thing about it. We're in the city attorney's office. You see, and I tell everybody in life, it ain't where you start off at, baby. It's where you end up. Mm. You see, he was a deputy city attorney making double money I made. Here, me, little old me, I'm an assistant. You know, obviously you feeling some kind of way because I'm living
a certain kind of way.
A certain kind of way, and you're not. You ain't figured it out yet. You know, you got a shitload of student loan bills. I put myself through law school. When I finished law school, I ain't owe nobody.
Yeah.
So don't get mad at me, you know, because I figured it out, you know.
Because I bust my butt.
Because I bust my butt. I didn't go to the same school you went to. Mm-hmm. But guess what? I took the same bar exam you took. And I passed it. We ended up at the same job. You making more than I am. I'm making less than you. Half of what you're making. But I live a better life than you living. Mm-hmm. So you see, and I tell people all the time, you can always look and judge a book by its cover. You know, here it is. And I'll go a step further to say this. I live in a certain type of house. You live in a certain type of house. You may think my house is, and it very well may be a little bit more fashionable and fabulous than yours. You busting your ass every day can barely pay for yours when mine is paid for. Your difference is, while you were out trying to shine, my ass is over. I wasn't stacking. My ass is over here from 6 o'clock to maybe 12 midnight, putting in my own floors and, you know, putting up my own walls. And I figured out how to frame something. I figured out how to do something. I figured out how to use my God-given talents. You see, so, you know, people got to understand that you got to be willing to do some things that, you know, a little bit out of your comfort zone. You know, I ain't out here trying to dress to impress and stunt and show off for everybody. I'm over here trying to make the fruits of my labor pay off for me. To whereas, you know, I can live a certain life. So you don't look at a book and always, you know, figure you can figure it out because you don't know what my struggles are or what they've been. You know, if you want that type of life, then guess what? Go work for it.
Yeah. Nobody's going to give it to you.
Nobody's going to give it to you. And that's what my mom used to tell me all the time. You got to work for things. You got to be willing to go to work and work for things. And going to work for things may be more than just one job.
Mm-hmm. Well, what did being a city attorney or a public defender teach you?
That, hey, I still got to work for everything in life that I want. Nobody's going to give me anything, you know? Whatever I want in life, regardless of what it is, I still got to be willing to work just as hard for. It taught me never, even though I accomplished one goal, I wasn't there yet. I got to keep grinding. I got to grind even harder. And I'm still grinding to this day. I got to grind even harder.
When is enough? What or how will you know? Because see, I'm reading this new book called The Psychology of Money. It's really good. Shout out to everybody out there. I've like almost done with it in 2 days. But one of the chapters is about enough, when knowing when is enough. Like, and some people have, and I had recognized this in myself, like we move the goalposts. Like you think you reach an accomplishment and then you be like, okay, well, I want more, or I want something else. It's like, well, when are you ever going to be happy and satisfied? Because not knowing when enough is enough has been, and she gave several examples in the book. I don't remember them, but they were to the detriment of a lot of very, very successful people. I'm talking about millionaire, billionaires.
I agree. I agree with that
So
wholeheartedly.
like, when do you know enough is enough?
I think that's a personal, individual.
What is enough
decision.
for you?
I don't know when it's enough,
because baby, you need to find out.
Because let me tell you something. We're programmed and taught that, the ultimate accomplishment in life is to have children, get a good job, get a house with a white picket fence. Okay, guess what?
I don't want a white picket fence. Those
no.
White picket.
I
know. I'm just being facetious.
I've accomplished that goal many times over.
Right. So
I own houses. I've built houses. You know, I live in houses that are debt-free. You've driven
every car you could want to drive.
I've driven every car that I want to drive. I've been able to buy, travel, do everything. When's enough?
So why is now not enough?
Because I'm the type of person.
I'm not saying that because enough is enough that you just gonna stop working. That's not what enough. Enough means that if you get nothing else,
I'm fine.
Yeah.
I can say that, truly.
If you just stop here and don't accomplish another thing,
I will be fine. God has already done enough for me.
Yeah.
So I'm okay in that respect. And I say that as it relate to things.
Yeah.
You know, if I don't, but I tell every house this last house that I built, I said, I'm not building no more. That's it. Damn it. I'm
building again.
I'm building again. And I've said it 3 or 4 times this week. That's it for me. I'm not doing it again. I'm over it, you know. But even if that is the case, or if that's not the case, I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm the type of person that will actively be doing something for the rest of my life, just because that's just my energy level. That's just who I am. I am not the person that can stay in the bed past 10 o'clock every day and do nothing. I may take the liberty to do that one Sunday if it's raining, it's cloudy. So I may say, hey, I'm not doing anything today. But I'm the person
that want to get up and work.
I got to get up and go find something to do.
That's fine. I think that's good and that's healthy, because as you mature in age, it keeps your mind sharp. And it keeps your mobility. You know what I'm saying? So what does success look like to you then? Or what does success mean? Because I realized after reading this book, I'm halfway successful if I'm basing off my own terms of success. So what is your version? What does success look like to you?
Success looks like to me that I've been a positive role model to my children. I have made it a point to treat people right along the way. I have not been abusive to people. I have gone out the way to help somebody other than myself.
Well, why you thought about somebody else in her?
I live by morals, codes, and ethics. I do believe, and I subscribe to a spiritual relationship and connection to the man upstairs. And to me, I'm successful. That's success.
You didn't list not one thing in career or money or finances.
But you know what? That doesn't mean anything to me in that regard.
What are you chasing? Or what are you?
I'm not chasing. And I told you that. I've told you that your whole life. I don't chase a dollar. I don't chase money. I'm not going to chase money. I'm never going to chase money. I didn't choose a career because I was chasing a dollar. I didn't choose to become a lawyer because I wanted to be wealthy. I didn't choose to become God knows, a public defender because I wanted money. That's the least fucking paying job there is. I didn't choose anything. I didn't choose to get in construction because I wanted to make a lot of money. I chose construction because I understood it. I was enthused and infatuated by the ability to create something with my hands. I didn't choose, to get in the utility industry because I wanted money. I chose it because I understood it. I liked it. I liked the aspect of it all. I didn't choose to do this, what we're doing here, because of money. Hell, this hadn't made us a penny.
It hasn't, actually.
So
we need ads if anybody want to promote.
I don't choose things because of money.
Yeah.
And the money will come. You know why money will come?
Because money flows to me effortlessly and abundantly.
And Oprah said something.
Money loves me.
You know what Oprah said, and I happened to catch a glimpse of it, and it clicked. I will always be provided for because I manifest it.
Mm-hmm.
Oprah is a master manifestationer.
Mm-hmm.
And I consider myself to be not quite a master, but almost a master. I will always manifest the desires and the petitions of my heart. You know why? Because I believe in the Bible says you ask not because you have not.
Mm-hmm.
And so I will always have the things that I desire, but I choose not to desire things.
Yeah.
To that extent.
I'm at that age now, and that's what even reading this book is making me realize, like, to detach that desire for things, because it's like, okay, so what? Yeah. You have all these things, then what? I throw that shit in the corner, just like I throw everything else.
And you're right.
I don't want to clean it up. I don't want to put it up.
Right.
I don't value it anymore. It doesn't mean anything more about me as a person.
Absolutely. It doesn't.
And when I really thought about what success meant to me, it really didn't have anything to do with the material things. For me, success is one, being able to the freedom of time. Like, I want to be able to wake up every day and do whatever I want to do. Now, I know I might have some obligations, but I don't have to go to a job that I hate. I'm not tied down to, like you said, a debt. You know what I'm saying? Like, and there's no shade to anybody that works a 9 to 5. If you love that and you feel fulfilled there, that's you. But like you said, we just nothing people that can sit still. So to be locked into something because I have to pay my bills or because I'm obligated to be there, to me, success is freedom of time. So I'm halfway there because I kind of do get to choose how I maneuver with my time right now. But the other part of success to me also is having enough saved up to where if something happened, I'm okay. Like, God forbid I can't work for a year. You got enough money saved up where, you know what I mean? It's not going to send me to the poorhouse, or, I'm not begging and I'm on. So that's the other part, is like just having a substantial amount of savings where worst case scenarios, I'm always taken care of and I'm good. Or if I get sick, or, you know what I mean? Anything can happen. The strike. I want to be at that point where, okay, life is lifing, but it's not changing my quality of life. So that to me is success as well.
Yeah. And so, it's like, although I possess a lot of worldly things.
Because they're going to keep making them things.
Right.
Louis Vuitton, Chanel.
And they're going to keep going. It's going to keep going. It's keep going.
And they keep getting expensive for expensive. That's not even a word. Expensive and expensive.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
And
higher and higher and higher. Like, what are y'all doing? Who are y'all selling these to? Why do a purse need to be $7,500?
And the thing about it is, I may own 1 or 2, 3, 4 of them, but hell, I only carry one, and I'm gonna probably carry that till the color changes.
That's what I'm saying.
And it's like I have.
Well, give me your Chanel's that you're not carrying.
So what I'm saying is that I've never been a person to where I like. Now, don't misunderstand me. I like nice things.
Me too.
I like what I like when I like it. I want the ability to be able to wear it if I choose to. I want the ability to drive it if I choose to. But it don't make me. Because just like I can drive a Rolls Royce truck, maybe I can drive a pickup truck and be just as damn happy. or a Volkswagen Beetle and be just as happy. You see, so things don't make me. You know,
Yeah.
I'm beyond that. I'm not a person. I don't live my life. Oh, I gotta hurry up. I gotta grind because Joey got a Cadillac, so I gotta go get one. Or so. No.
But you know what? That is, again, back to the book that I'm reading, Psychology of Money. That is something that they said keeps people from saving, is that humility. A lot of people don't save, not because they can't save, because you could save no matter how much money you make. Not because they're unable to, but because they don't have the humility to live lower than their means. Or like you said, not be trying to keep up with the Joneses or still stuck on materialistic stuff. So do a personal check. Like, are you humble enough to save to get yourself to the next level? You know, and what does success really mean to you? Because once I really started going through this list, I realized that I thought I was chasing. While I've been like you, I haven't really chased money when choosing careers. But when I'm in these careers, I still have been wanting to get paid because I thought I needed, because I don't have kids. So my thing was, all right, I'm doing this to go on vacation and I'm doing this to buy myself nice things. But it's like, okay, you keep doing that for so long. Like, what do you have to show for other than this stuff? And then it's like, once I realized that those things don't really make me feel successful or
And it don't make you
fulfilled.
happy. Right. But you know what? I'll go back to even say this.
Wait, I say that to say, do a real assessment of what success means to you, because you'll be surprised at what you've been chasing and how it doesn't even correlate to what you really feel like is success or important.
Well, I will say this about the saving aspect of it. Some people like myself may not save in a traditional way of savings, but I may take my money and invest it in a piece of real estate that ultimately will get me the same amount or more savings than it would had I just put it into a bank. You follow me?
Well, you had to save up the money to even purchase a real estate.
Well, I'm just saying.
Some saving had to happen.
Well, what I'm saying is that to me, there's different ways of doing it.
There are for sure different ways of saving.
Some people may say, well, you in order to be successful, you got to save, $500 a month.
Or 30% of your income.
Right. But my way of thinking is hypothetically, I own 4 of the pieces of real estate. They're all paid for. I'm renting them out. And hey, that's my savings right there. Because push come to shove, now the market's good, I could dump them all and I've got, voila, just as much or more than you've got that you've been putting away, in a traditional bank for the last 10 years. Yeah. So the point I'm making is, and it goes back to what I was saying about when I became a public city attorney. It wasn't how I started. It's how I ended up, how I got there. Here we've got 2 people, same environment. One makes a little more, but he's struggling like hell. One makes lesser, but you're living a better life. You see, I was able to build my house on the hill, and he's paying out of his ass for, a 3-bedroom, 3-story townhouse someplace. Well, I'm living in 6 acres that I've just built, for $200,000. He's paying $300,000 for his stack of bricks, and he don't even have a quarter of an acre. He's got that little driveway patch. So my point is,
do what works best for you.
Do what works for best for you.
Yeah. Well, for me right now, I'm practicing saving my 30% of every dollar I make, because I just want to be in the habit of saving. Like I said, I want that cushion to be able to survive just in case anything happens. And then also I want to just be in the habit of saving and making for investments, but also saving when you don't have a savings goal. Like, you know what I mean? Sometimes you might be saving for your kids back to school, or you might be saving for vacation. I want to be in the habit of just not spending every dollar I get my hands on. Like, I just want to make a habit of saving. Yeah. So for me, I'm saving 30%. But I'm like you too. Like, I would wipe out my savings for an investment. Yeah. If I truly believe in it, I have wiped out my savings plenty of times. But I made it back.
But and there are times when there are times when I don't have a dollar to save because I'm putting it into another project, and that project I know when I finish is going to be worth X, Y, and Z. You know, so no, I ain't sitting on, you know, a lot of liquid cash flow. You know, but I've got a several $1 million project that's, that I can dump at any minute and make it back. So people got to figure out what works for them. But
did a job ever teach you that, other than that encounter with that guy?
No, a job didn't teach me that. A friend of mine named Donald Tremble, and he's dead now. Donald was
that's that white guy you always talk about.
Donald Tremble was a white guy that
I
befriended. I befriended when I was very, very young on the police department. And there were days when I didn't have anything to do, and I would just pull up to his condo in Colony Square, and we'd just sit and talk.
Man, he had money. He was living in Colony Square back then.
Back then, and he used to drive a little gold 450 SL Mercedes.
Too to get that
and there were times when he would go out of town, and he would tell me, "Here, keep my car for me." And I was like, "You want me to keep your car? Your 450?" Yeah, keep it. He and I used to sit down and talk. And he told me back then to not get so caught up into things that depreciate. He says, you need to put your money, your time, your effort, and your energy into anything that's going to appreciate. Because at some point, you can recoup it. And that taught me there that I needed to, it opened my eyes up to the world of surviving. It changed my way of thinking back then. And I knew that, I had to always be mindful of how I was spending my money. And I'm not saying that I never spent carelessly. I have. We all
Me
do.
too. I done balled till
we
I
all
fall.
We all do. We all do. And I'm a big giver. I spend, and a lot of time I spend on other people. I'm a big giver.
As long as I can be one of them people.
Oh, shut up. You know good well. You've always benefited from my giving. But I'm a big giver. I like to give people, especially if I have the ability to give, I can. And I truly think I think all the time, when God blesses you, it is your duty and your responsibility to be a blessing to somebody else. Mm-hmm. And I live by that.
Sam, what did working at Piccadilly teach you?
Piccadilly taught me at a very young age that my ass was going to have to work. And I know that and what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. I was 9 years old, standing on a milk crate watching, and I was a big 9-year-old. And my back then, my nephew's mama put my age up to so she could get me a job at Piccadilly. But I knew the people knew that I wasn't old enough to work. But they let me work there, and all I did was wash dishes, the one in Greenbrier. Yes, it's still there. And
you should go back and be like, y'all, I paved the way.
I may have, but it taught me at a very young age that, that kind of work was going to be hard work. But it was work. And it was something that I had to do. And I enjoyed working because I enjoyed making my own money. It was mine.
What did selling dirt teach you?
Selling dirt taught me that, hey, there are some hustles out here that I can do. I could use my brain versus my muscle and make a little extra money.
They said that's what Rockefeller did. He was one of the first people to really, especially in that time, like during the age of like factories and stuff. Like I was about to say steel mills. I don't even know if that's what they were. But like in the factories, like Rockefeller, people were so amazed with him because he was one of the first very, very successful people who did it, who made his money off of literally thinking.
Yeah.
Like everything, came out of his mind. It wasn't physical labor. And at the time, that wasn't like
a lot of
heard of.
Yeah. A lot of people being creative, and figuring it out. Mm-hmm.
I think that's a special skill though.
Yeah.
Like to be able to make money from your thoughts in your brain. Do you feel like that's something that everybody got, or it's a special skill?
I think we
because like you said, construction is like your hands. I don't got that gift.
I think we all start off on the same level playing.
Really? I don't think so.
I think we do. I think somewhere along the way, we get sidetracked. I think that we start off, we're influenced by those that we encounter, whether it be your mother, your father, your teaching, your surroundings. I think we're all influenced. Some of us take a little bit more time to tune in. Some of us never tune in. I also think that God gives us a natural talent.
I was about to say
And I think that some of us get it. Some of us get it sooner, and some of us never get it.
nurture. You mean when you say get it, you mean like nurture those talents?
Nurture those talents.
Yeah, I
figure
agree.
it out. And my talent has always been with my hand. I can fix anything. I can put anything together. I can build anything. You know, I can look at something and see, it takes this, that, and the other, and I can do it. I guess that's why I'm so intrigued with Home Depot. I mean, I literally love Home Depot.
Yeah.
I mean,
shout out to Home Depot. If y'all are looking for sponsorship or ads, we can run them because she is an advocate. Okay, she loves Home Depot.
I love Home Depot.
She can tell y'all what's on every aisle and where to find it.
And I mean, because it gives you.
You need you an honorary little orange smock thing that they be wearing.
It gives you
the apron.
It gives you so many endless creative possibilities.
That's how I feel about video.
It does. I mean, you can do so many things out of Home Depot.
I like that. But I agree that we all are each given our own unique gifts. That's why I don't feel like we all start at the same spot.
I think we all.
What do you mean by start at the same place?
I think the playing field is leveled for us all.
How so?
I think when we are,
because when you Black, you already like there's so many socioeconomic and educational. There's so many factors. How do we?
You're right. You're absolutely right. I do realize that there are certain privileges that some ethnicity have that, you know, us African Americans don't have.
And even in our own community, like I have to acknowledge I had certain privileges that my counterparts might not have had. Okay, just based off of your hard work or your advantages. I didn't start at the same.
I think, and I was making a generalization by simply saying when we're brought into this world.
I think we all have willpower. We all have the ability.
Yes. Yes. I think that's perhaps a better way of saying.
But we don't get the same gifts. We don't get the same tools.
No, we don't.
And I think that each tool is unique to where God has planned for you to go.
Yes, absolutely. I would agree with that. But then a lot of us don't tap into it. We don't acknowledge it. And we don't take advantage of it.
And some of us grow up with haters, you know, because like one of my gifts is speaking. And clearly you thought I talked too much. And then another one of my gifts or things that I really enjoy is like video of like visuals, whether it's hosting and being on camera or vlogging or like I reach my community of people through video format. And I remember when specifically in my mid-20s when I was trying to find my career, I remember hearing that from God. It's like video. Go past, like, yeah, you want to talk, but think visually. You know what I mean? And I wish I had leaned into that sooner, but I still remember that moment when I heard that. So like you said, I think that we have those nudges or seeds planted within us all. You just got to nurture them, and it's up to you to like
cultivate them and bring them forth. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I think we all.
What's been the most impactful career that you've had?
I still have to go back and say being a police officer.
I know you're going for that.
I really do.
Like I'm saying, not just impactful to others, but to you. That's the
yeah.
I mean, because
I really had to grow up. It made me an adult.
Would you recommend that job?
Today, people, because society has lost respect for police officers. A lot of police officers have tarnished the career. The police officers truly don't get paid enough. And it's just different now. Back then we heard of gangs, and gangs were, didn't happen in Atlanta. They were those things that happened in other northern states, oh no, not, but now having to deal with all those different dynamics. The cartel was things we heard on television, but now the cartel is real. I'm not saying those are things that you're afraid of, but those are just
It's a
too
lot more
many.
dangerous.
Yeah, it's a lot more dangerous, a lot more dynamics, and and it's almost to the point where can I really trust the guy next to me? You riding in the police car with somebody who he might be a gang member, might be a cartel member. You don't know. He may be racist. I don't know. It's just the dynamics are just so different today.
What
And I
job?
don't know.
What job did you like the least? I ain't gonna say hate. But you be like, if I had to come back, I ain't really have to do that one again.
The city attorney.
Oh wow, you really wanted that job.
I did. It was a job that I worked hard at. I gave it 110%. But it was very stressful. And I think that job I felt the least appreciated.
And it poured over into your personal life.
Probably. There were days I would pull up in front of City Hall and I would cry before I went in the office. I would cry. I mean, I wasn't happy there. I really wasn't. I wasn't happy there. But it was an experience. I really wanted that job and I got that job.
And then you got it and you was like, dang.
Yeah, the people.
I don't really got to do this up again.
Yeah, the people were some were friendly, some were jealous and envy, some were full of shit. It's just the same typical shit you encounter, every place you work for the most part.
That happened to me once. I wanted a job so bad, literally so bad. And then when I got it, I was like, oh, I never want to do this again.
Right.
When I was a Wild 'N Out girl, I wanted that job. Since middle school, high school, when Wild 'N Out first came out, I wanted to be a Wild 'N Out girl because it was like, oh, you beautiful enough or you fine enough to be this model on TV. And then all my 20s was trying to do it. Then finally got it during like they Wild 'N Out tour. They were doing a tour. So I did the Atlanta stop and they were like, oh yeah, we would love to have you on for the season. And I was just like, my feet hurt and I don't even get to say nothing. I don't want to do this. This is not what I thought it was going to be. Like, you want me to just stay here and be cute? That's not for me. And in heels, my feet hurt. Yeah, no. Yeah. So I did that once and then I was like, all right, I checked it off. Never got to do that again.
Right. Yep.
It just wasn't. And I was like, if I was to be on Wild 'N Out, I want to be talking and being one of the people. I don't want to be just in the background.
A statue.
Yeah. That, and I learned that about myself. Like, oh, you just not a pretty face. I have to be able to speak or it pains me.
Yep. And then part of the reason why I didn't like the city attorney's office, I was dealing with elected officials who think or thought their shit didn't stink. They would never listen to reason. You didn't always agree with them. They wouldn't take the advice you give them. And they always tried to make your job harder. They didn't get the answer they wanted out of you. They were always trying to, fuck with you. And then you're having to deal with employee issues, employees doing dumb shit. You got to, deal with that. And it was just a lot of different things, different aspects. I enjoyed the experience. Then you had to deal with, like I said, I had this one supervisor who, in my opinion, was a hater. And then, you got other superiors that always trying to dump the shit work on you. You being at the bottom of the totem pole, they're dumping shit on you that they don't want to work, they don't want to deal with, and it was always, sometimes it's too political. I'm kind of always a straightforward person that, will tell you where to go step off and, don't want to be bothered with this bullshit and be done with it, But then you had to put up with so much stuff. So I wouldn't do that job again.
Okay.
I wouldn't do that job again.
That's fair. Well, it's time for the record. You got any for the records?
For the record, I think that those police officers that are there for the right reason I think that they deserve the utmost respect.
For sure.
I think that there are a lot of good ones still out there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think all cops are bad. I just think that we're living in a time where they're underpaid, not respected, and you got a few bad apples that unfortunately spoil the bunch.
For sure. I say my for the record is that too. Like, I commend you and any other Black person that has integrity and morals that wants to join law enforcement or in any realm, whether it's public defender, city, like whatever realm of law you want to be a part of. If you have integrity, I salute you, because that is a lot, like you said, to fight the good fight all the time. And I personally do feel like, how we gonna change the system if we don't be a part of the change? So even though most of us, myself included, don't really be rocking with the police like that, I still gotta salute those, like you said, the good ones, the people that are doing the work.
Absolutely.
That's important. All right, well, it's time for I Want to Know, where we get to ask each other questions that we want to know. And I have a question from my close friends. Shout out to everybody that's in my close friends. If you are subscribed, we rocking together, you know what I'm saying? And y'all get first dibs on asking these questions. So if you're not, go to my website so you can subscribe to close friends so you can get in the gang. But Keeks did it. Shout out to you, girl. Said, how would you support your 30-year-old daughter who told you she was molested as a child?
How would I support her? I would, first of all, let her know that it wasn't her fault as a child. Make sure she understood that. Make sure she knows that I failed in a sense, because I take responsibility I won't say I failed, but I have to take some responsibility for that, because I should have created a place and a space where you as a child felt that you could have come to me and told me that. Now, I do know some kids don't tell because of their fears of losing either a parent or the situation, or fear that it's going to create more problems. But I would let that child know that if there's anything that we can do now to fix it, well, we can't change it, but whatever we can do to correct it, I'm standing with her, I'm rocking with her, and we're going to do whatever we need to do together.
That's real.
Mm-hmm.
And I think just be there for her.
Absolutely.
And whatever way of healing that
she needs. Absolutely. But you know what?
Whether it's talking about it or therapy or whatever.
Absolutely. And encourage her to talk about it. And let's get to a place, because it's unfortunate that there are so many
creeps,
children out there that has encountered those creeps.
For sure.
As children that have done shit like that to them. And it is my prayer. Number one, I do believe in forgiveness, but it is my prayer. Let me back that up. Let me take it out of my prayer. Let me take it, because I don't want to mix God in this. It is my hope and my desire that for every creep that has molested a child, I hope and desire that you burn in hell. I hope that you get to a point where you are on your deathbed and literally have to ask for forgiveness from that child, whether that child ever hears it, whether that child ever knows it. I hope that you die a miserable death, because number one, you should have the restraint and have the mental capacity to know that there's nothing gratifying that you should be able to get from molesting a child. I don't care what age it is. It is my hope and my desire, all the Catholic preachers, all the hypocrites, any and every person, whether you were Black, white, yellow, whatever. I wish that there was some way we could identify all you sick son of a bitches, put you in a pit, and pour gasoline on you, and you burn in hell. That is my desire.
Okay, that was pretty graphic. Do you have any I want to knows for me? Or people have asked questions if you want.
Anybody? Let's go from there.
So Lelore.goddess wants to know, what's one trait you think you have inherited from your mom? Well, clearly a lot. I think that I get my smart mouth from her. I think I get my sass and my attitude from her. I think, in my opinion, because you are very opinionated as well, and you do not bite your tongue. Little do you try to make it seem. I also think I get my hustle and drive. Like she said, like just chasing our dreams. We both have, like you said, went after so many different careers and did them full-fledged out, not looking for money, but fulfillment, like that need or that insatiable desire for self-fulfillment or self-accomplishment. Yeah. I think that we both have that, like, well, we have to feel like we did something. And I also think I get from you, the one thing you said you wish I had a guy sooner, was how in the last episode you were like, you wish I had have learned sooner how to not be so nice. I think I got that from you, babe. I think that run in our family. So I think I got like that overly nice, overly giving, overextending myself, thinking you everybody's friend, going out your way. I got that from you. I definitely got that from you. And I think my drive and tenacity.
Fair.
I be getting knocked down, but
yeah, fair.
I be getting back up again.
And even though I tell you that the overextending yourself, even as old as I am,
you still do it.
I still do it.
So we
find
learning
myself
and
in a
growing.
position where people have taken advantage of me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's even my personal life is like, damn it, you know, I should have saw that coming, or damn it, you know, so it happens.
We learning, we growing. It's cool. I'm not judging you.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right, y'all. That has been this week's episode of Mommy and Me. Stay tuned for more. And shout out to everybody that subscribed. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so. I am Brii Renee.
And I am Miss Renee, the original, straight from the A.
See y'all next week.
She hates it, but I love it.